Welcome back to another edition of Court Vision. Today's date is 12/30, 2020. Almost done with this shit-ass fucking year.
Hey guys,
We're
a great year,
We're
huh?
back together.
Oh.
Yeah, after a whole day of being separate.
Yeah.
We got together last night, drank some whiskey, and set up some shit. First things first, we have a podcast that we're starting up. The podcast host is Podbean, whatever that is. And we're going to try to use that to host the podcast and then eventually try to grow it to Spotify and or iTunes. Again, new at all this shit. So for those of you, if you're listening to the podcast, we might forget that is even recording and like do some shit that's clearly for video, but I don't know. We'll see. We'll try to do our best with it. A couple other things. We started our own Twitter. So the Twitter handle is at 3232 Court Vision. So 32 Court Vision. Facebook, we got facebook.com/Court Vision 32. And then our Better Than Vegas, you should know because you're on it right now. YouTube and Podbean are all Court Vision 32. Okay. One more quick shout out to Leo he actually works for Better Than Vegas. He reached out to me through messaging, and he said, or he actually emailed, and then I've been talking to him on Twitter. He works for the site, and he was kind of asking our input on things and how we liked the site, how we got here, etc. But it's pretty cool that somebody from Better Than Vegas reached out to us. So Leo, his Twitter handle is at dgens_united. Yeah, it's just pretty cool that they reached out to us.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. I definitely like the site so far, and seems like a really good way for people to start getting out there. So.
All right. That being said, we're gonna do 2 separate videos today. Might be the way we break it down from here on out. It's just, I mean, with the way that the NBA is, these guys like never know if they're playing until like fucking game time.
Yeah, and with that being said, too, something I wanted to say, like, if you're gonna put bets in, especially if you're going like solo bets and stuff like that, you gotta wait till. I mean, if you think you're getting a good line early, you think the line might jump. It's not like college football, or it's not like the NFL or whatever, where you want to catch a line early if you think it's going to change in the wrong direction. NBA, wait till 5 minutes before the game.
Yeah,
seriously. I mean, look at Jamal Murray yesterday. Like, who would have ever taken the Nuggets?
He was in a fantasy lineups of ours.
Yeah.
And we check religiously.
Yeah. I mean, we're checking, 5 minutes before game time and stuff. So, yeah, Jamal Murray just late scratch right before the game. And it's like, okay, so if you have the Nuggets in that game, well, now all of a sudden you're taking the Nuggets on the road on back-to-backs against a team that beat them earlier this year, and like they don't have their best player or their second best player, and it's like, what are you supposed to do?
Yeah.
So yeah, I wait till literally 5 minutes before the game.
NBA is unique for a lot of reasons, but that's one of the main ones. Is you have to stay up on it, especially like this video is going to be about fantasy. I mean, you got to check your lineups all damn day to make sure somebody's not jumping out or somebody is jumping in. I mean, the other day we were working and like checking our lineups just before like things are about to start, making sure all our guys are cool. And then Anthony Davis just decided he was going to play. And we had like 5 minutes while we're working to fix our lineups and just fucked everything up.
Yeah, it was a mess.
So
because like we had like Kuzma and something, Markieff Morris and something, it was a mess. So yeah, or like the other day we were talking about how like Kyrie didn't even have a designation, but we were just talking about, yeah, he'll probably rest. Like, and then like 6 hours after we made our video, he did decide to rest, So it was like,
that's going to be all year too.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's going to be monkey see, monkey do with Kyrie.
Yeah.
I guarantee.
Definitely.
So, all right. So starting off for today's fantasy slate. Today's a tricky day. I kind of like days like today. You don't.
I hate today. I can't stand it.
See, I don't like the days where, like recently, it seems like it's every fucking day where the winners of tournaments and even like tickets, like everybody's over 400 points.
Right.
I can't stand that. I don't like that at all. I like the ones where like it's a battle to get to 350, like, and I feel like today is more like that. I don't think there's going to be a lot of 400 points.
It's just a lot of like, I don't like a lot of like crap in like the like 7,000, like 6 to 8,000 range. Like I don't know, a lot of those guys, and we'll get into it, but a lot of those guys, like you get guys that are like 7,500 or whatever, and they're getting you like 35 fantasy points a game. Like it's just not good enough.
Or fucking Devin Booker, who got like 12.
Yeah, Devin Booker really screwed us last night. Yeah. Uh, but yeah, I mean, you have all those guys in there. Like you gotta, I don't know. I mean, I would rather take a flyer on somebody that's 4,500 that puts up, anywhere from 15 to 40 than a guy that's going to give you 30, 35 every game, but he's double the price because you're just not going to win anything.
And to me, that's why I like days like today. Is it's more skill to pick those, because I feel the same way about it. I kind of skip over those 7,000, 7,500 guys. I try to skip those, plug in some stars on a day where there's only a few stars, and then go down to those. Like I like trying to pick that skill. Oh, this guy's 4,600, but I know he's worth more.
Right.
I like that aspect of it. So
Right.
it's interesting. So starting off at the point guard position, first one I have written down is Luka Doncic at 11-4. I personally, I think, I mean, he's had a fine start to the season.
Yeah.
Everything's been fine, but I think this would be his first triple-double of the year if he gets it. I think the Hornets are the team to get it against, so I love that play today.
Yeah, I agree. I like Doncic. Doncic is my favorite superstar today. I think that he doesn't really have anybody to go. Who's just going to cover him?
I was thinking maybe Hayward.
It's too slow.
But who else could it be?
But it's going to have to be.
It can't be Rozier or Devontae Graham.
No.
So, I mean, while Hayward's, decent, he's not going to be able to muscle him up like a lot of the smaller defenders that Doncic draws.
Right, that's true.
But so he will be able to work the perimeter.
You might have to put Hayward on him.
And that takes away their best defender, and Doncic is going to be able to get a lot of assists.
Right. So. Right. Overall, it's a great Doncic play today.
I agree.
I'm not afraid at all to pay that 11-4 for him.
Nope. After that, you have Trae Young, Kyrie Irving, and then Dame from like 9,800 down to 9,200 for Dame. I don't really think you can go too wrong with any of those plays. Trae Young's probably my favorite of those plays because I think he's going to get back around the 50 mark, and I don't think he's the popular play on today's slate when you got Kyrie and Dame there too. So it might be a good counterplay to Doncic if you want to save a few thousand. To me,
I like Kyrie out of those three. I don't like the other two. I think Kyrie has a big game, and I think like Durant, it's going to be a tricky game for Durant too because you have all those like your Hunter and Collins and even Capella's supposed to get some play today. Like all kind of guys that you could just kind of throw at him for 5-10 minutes and see what happens. I don't really think there's. Well, like you have got, but I think mostly Trae Young and Kyrie are going to be guarding each other. So I do like Kyrie a bit today.
See, that's the thing is that's why I'm a little different. Is like sadly because I thought he was going to suck, but Trae Young's actually pretty decent defensively.
Yeah, it's not
whereas
bad.
Kyrie doesn't play defense.
Right. Right.
So, but it could go either way in that matchup. Yeah. I really like that game today. I really like the Hawks versus the Nets. I plugged a lot of stuff in from that game. I think it's going to be a very competitive game.
Yeah. So Young's not a bad play. I mean, it's kind of, if you are going a second higher point guard, it's kind of picking the better one out of Trae Young and Kyrie. I like Kyrie a little bit better today. You like Trae Young a little bit better today.
Dame's not a bad play either.
I don't like Dame today. I need to see more from him. Like we watched like every Blazers game this year. He's just kind of, he's all right. He's fine, but he's not like, I don't know. I'm not going to pay up for him.
Right.
I'm not going to pay up for him.
Right. I gotcha. It's just Pat Beverly's not.
Oh, Pat Beverly's.
But I don't think I have Dame in any lineup. So
yeah,
whatever. After that, so then you got like this big lull, kind of like we've been talking about in this price range where I don't like anything. Fuck, what's his stupid name?
Terry Rozier.
No, Murray. Deontay Murray.
Deontay Murray.
Man, I completely blanked for a second. Yeah, Deontay Murray for the Spurs, 7,300. Rozier, 7,000. Dragic, 6,900. And then Drew Holiday, 6,400.
Other than the Holiday, those are all terrible plays.
I don't like any of those
and
plays.
I don't like the only reason I say other than Holiday is because he's actually like talented.
Yeah.
It's just that he's on back to back, and I don't like the play.
I like Murray as a player.
Yeah.
And especially fantasy wise. He could get triple doubles and stuff.
Yeah.
It's just I don't like the game for him today.
Dragic, why did Dragic only play 9 minutes the other day?
Maybe because they were losing by 50.
It's true, but I mean, like he didn't even start or anything. Like I don't know what was really going on there.
It might just because Butler was going to be out. They probably knew they were going to get smacked.
Probably.
Butler's still questionable for today. In my head, the way I see it going is Butler comes back for this game, and they come right back at Milwaukee today.
I could definitely see that.
That's the way I see it. That being said, Dragic is an okay play to me. It's not something I would out of my way to get. Holiday is a good price at 6,400. I just that's the way I see the game going in my head, so I don't want to touch Holiday either. I
don't ever trust anybody really that is questionable in the NBA ever to play, but Jimmy Butler is one of the ones that I would trust to play.
Agreed. He's got a heart, obviously. Yeah. He's a winner, and he's going to want to come out there and show up for that after yesterday's beatdown. So.
Right.
After that, you got Tyus Jones is going to be starting for Memphis while Ja Morant's out for the next little over a month. He's 5,800 today. I mean, D'Anthony Melton's out too, so I get the price point that he's going to play a lot. I just don't like. I mean, if he was like 4,800,
yeah, I don't like. They usually don't do that. They usually don't hike the price up for somebody like before, like after injuries and stuff, but like before they've even like really played anything major minutes. So I hate the price on him.
I don't like that. I get it, but especially with the point guard position being so loaded up today, I don't understand it. So after that, you got, like I said, I think that Hawks Nets game is going to be a bit of a dogfight. I think it's going to be a really competitive game. For that reason, 4,700 Rondo is one of my favorite plays.
Oh, I do like the Rondo play.
You got to worry about the minutes.
Right. I do like the Rondo play. I didn't write anything down, but I mean, you could put Rondo to counter Kyrie when Trae Young's out and stuff like that.
Right.
So I like that.
After that, you got Lou Williams, 4,600. I don't like that today. Then you got LaMelo Ball, Jaylen Brunson, Peyton Pritchard, all kind of your value plays. LaMelo's at 44, and then Brunson and Peyton Pritchard are both under 4,000. I think there's a lot of value to be found in any of those guys. I'm seeing the Dallas-Charlotte game as being a blowout. So I think that helps both Brunson getting some minutes if it is a blowout.
Right.
And I think Ball plays whether it's a blowout or not. So while Ball hasn't done it, it's like too great yet. It could be a good spot for him to get some value at that price.
Right.
Same with Brunson with the blowout. He'll get a lot of run. Plus, I think he's the backup point there anyway. So.
I think so. I think that game's going to be a little bit closer than you do. I still think it might be like a 10-ish point game, but I think starters will run most of the game.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, the Hornets have been competitive this year, so it very easily could be.
And like still Dallas, like without Porzingis and stuff. Like,
Peyton Pritchard, 3,500. And FanDuel's kind of missing the boat on
Peyton Pritchard's been awesome.
So far. He's been good, and he's getting more minutes. And then Boston's playing Memphis, which I also expect to be a blowout.
Yeah, that should be a blowout.
So Peyton Pritchard should get some good run in that. If you're trying to cram some stars into this lineup, Peyton Pritchard's a good value play to do that. All right. Moving on to shooting guard. So this is like one of the fun things I like about today is any day where you have, just yesterday, for example, you got, Chris Middleton, Bradley Beal, Shai Gilgeous, Levine, D'Angelo Russell, Booker, Van Vliet. If DeRozan was on a day like that, DeRozan would cost like 7,000.
Yeah.
Today, DeRozan is 8,500.
And it's funny because, like, I when I made a lineup, I mean, I was like half asleep when I made a lineup last night. I put like a 5 center in. I had DeRozan in the lineup, like not even looking at his price because I thought he was like 65 to 7, and then I saw that I was like, oh, whoa.
See, and that's why, oddly enough, I like DeRozan today because I think that's going to be the reaction from a lot of people.
It is.
You're going to look at that and you're going to be like, whoa, 8,500 for fucking DeRozan. But there's nothing else really at the shooting guard position unless Butler plays.
Right.
Which is what you need to watch there. Also, it's that whole every time DeRozan goes to LA, he loves, oh, he's from LA, blah, 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 blah. But his first 2 games of the year, he put up over 50 fantasy points. So on a day like today where you're kind of scratching to find players, I don't mind spending 8,500 for DeRozan and going cheaper at some other positions. I think he can get you the numbers, especially against LA. So I like the play, actually.
Yeah, I don't hate it, like even at that price. It is like you said, it is expensive for him, and I was like freaked out by it. But I mean, like if I have the money, I'm gonna pay for him. I mean, like if you were to just have like no salary cap, you just have to pick 2 shooting guards. Like DeRozan probably would be in there for me today.
Right.
So I guess if you got the money, pay for him.
And that's the thing, it's mostly for your big tournament plays. When you're looking at like, where can I swerve off of? Like, how can I win the $200,000? Like, what's going to make my lineup different? Well, where a lot of people shy away from DeRozan for that price point, you go with it. So I like some of those plays. There's 2 in particular today that I like. We'll get to the other one. Butler, 8,000. Like I said, if he plays, I think that's a great play.
Yeah. I didn't write him down just because, I don't know, I didn't write any of like the questionable guys.
I wrote him only because I'm expecting him.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like we said, he's the only one.
Yeah. I mean, if Butler plays, it's one of my favorite plays of the day.
Agreed.
So
it could be scary with a minutes restriction probably, but I think he'll be kind of in it to win it. I don't like McCollum at 8,400. McCollum's had a great start to the season.
Yeah, he has, but
I don't want to pay that for him.
I don't either. I'm not.
He's not the star of the team.
No. I don't really. Like we've watched, it's weird because like we've oddly enough watched the Blazers more than any other team this year for some reason. We're like on the complete,
watched like every game they played.
Yeah, we're in Ohio, they're in Portland, and like we're just like neither of us like or dislike them. Like they're just what, but like, yeah, and he's looked great so far. But I don't really like any of the Blazers today, like the upper guys at least. As far as like Middleton's a weird one too, because like Middleton kind of like started off the game carrying that team yesterday, and like you said, I mean that game ended up being a blowout. They broke the record for the most 3-pointers in the game, which is insane, and they blew the hell out of them despite Giannis having a shit game. So, like Middleton could go either way. Like he's gonna like if I don't know, like if Butler doesn't play, then Middleton should have a sweet game, but they could potentially blow him out again. But if Butler does play, then it might be a close game, but then you got Butler guarding Middleton. Right. So it's kind of...
For those reasons, that's why I don't like him.
Yeah, I had him listed as a possible play, but I don't think I would put him in any lineup.
Especially for 7,800.
Yeah.
Then you got Paul George. I'm done with Clippers for a little bit.
I am too.
And I know they fucked up the T-Wolves, a terrible team without its best player. But I'm done with Clippers for a minute. I need to see them kind of come around. So yeah. I got Paul George 7,600 on the no list.
Me too.
You got Dylan Brooks 6,700, which is an inflated price for him, but it's because there's no Ja Morant.
Right.
That's a fine play. I wouldn't mess around with it too much.
I wouldn't. They went. I mean, he jumped by like almost double.
yeah, seriously. He should be around 5,000. That's what I'll pay for Dylan Brooks with or without Ja Morant.
He should have been 5,000 when he was 3,800, and he should have been 5,000 now. It's just
that's the price I'm going to pay for him. If he's less, I'll take him. If he's over, probably not.
Yeah.
Schroeder, I'm fine with the Schroeder play. It's nothing I'm going to go out of my way to play, but he's fine to me. I wouldn't touch LeVert. I wouldn't touch Devontae Graham.
No, LeVert's a bad play today. Everyone's...
I think
people are going to jump on him because he had such a great game last time. And LeVert is a great player. It's just the team he's on. Like if you got Kyrie and Durant out there, they're gonna get the bulk of the play. And like, okay, so Levert's probably still gonna get you over 30 minutes, especially with Dinwiddie done for the season. But like, he's just not gonna be as involved,
Right.
So yeah, I don't like the Levert play today.
Mm-hmm. Me either. Devontae Graham, like I said, kind of shooting dependent. I mean, that game's gonna have a lot of points probably. I mean, I don't know if there's necessarily. Josh Richardson might be out.
Okay.
He's questionable. So if Josh Richardson's out, maybe Devontae Graham's a little bit better of a play because I don't know who guards him.
Right.
But 5,900 is not really a price I would want to pay for Devontae Graham.
Yeah.
When Marcus Smart is at 5,900 also, where that Boston-Memphis game might be a blowout, sure, but Marcus Smart's had 2 straight games over 30 points, and
Marcus Smart doesn't give a shit about playing back to
right.
back. He don't give a fuck.
Right. I mean, he's just going to go out there.
He's going to be a psychopath no matter what.
And with, a new point guard running the system, and because Tyus Jones didn't even play last year.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of opportunities for turnovers and steals and all that stuff. So I do like Marcus Smart at 5,900.
Yeah. Agreed.
Duncan Robinson I like today at 4,900 or 4,600. It's like you just got to pick your spots with Duncan Robinson, and if the Heat are going to do good today, I think he's going to have to hit some threes, hit some shots.
Yeah, and especially coming off a bad game for him, like
right,
it's not a bad spot for him at all. I do like the Duncan Robinson play.
You got Kevin Huerter out there. I don't think Kevin Huerter is going to be a good play for a little bit because Bogdanovich is coming into his own there in Atlanta real fast.
Right.
So while he can do some things, I don't necessarily like the Huerter play with all those wing guys they got. And now you're adding Bogdanovich into the mix.
Right. I do like Huerter. Like as long as Huerter's gonna stay at that, like he's at 43. I think that if you have to go really cheap with shooting guard, he's better than anybody else around that price. So it's not a play that I love, but if I'm kind of strapped on money there and I got to pick another shooting guard low, I would take Huerter.
Agreed. Luwawu Cabaret is all the way up to 4,200 now. I wouldn't touch that. He's a good player, but he's not going to play.
It's just what it is. I mean, if Durant and Kyrie aren't playing, like Luwalu's going to be a good play. Levert's going to light shit up. Like that's going to be what it is. But then when those guys play, everyone else is kind of just going to be in the background.
Right. So yeah, I wouldn't touch that one. One more guy I have on there is Grayson Allen at 3,700. He was already starting, and now you don't have what's his nuts, John Morant.
Yeah.
So not a great play, but value play 3,700. He's gonna get a couple extra minutes, and he's like a cheap ass version of Marcus Smart. So
right,
whatever. Coming up after that, small forward. LeBron James 10-5 today. I don't like the LeBron play today just because I don't know. I don't think this is going to be a ultra competitive game. I think he's going to be passing a lot. He kind of really showed out the other day, and I don't see him doing that again. And I mean, they do have bodies to throw at it. They have DeRozan, they have Rudy Gay, they have some guys they could throw at him. So I'm not big on LeBron today.
They do. I do like LeBron today for the 10-5. I'd rather pay that. I'd rather pay up for LeBron than some of those point guards there. I mean, other than Doncic.
Right.
I think LeBron I think he'll have a fine game. Especially, it looks like him and Davis are maybe both going to play. But if they do...
I don't even write those two on the injury thing.
No.
They're whatever. They're fat. They're ridiculous.
So LeBron, I don't know. I mean, it's like you can't. Like, I don't like when he starts hiking up over 11. I mean, that's kind of ridiculous. But a 10-5 is not a bad price for, obviously like one of the best players of all time. So
right.
They do have, like you said, they do have bodies against them. I just feel like it's hard to deal with like the Spurs being bad because I just it's always like, oh well, LeBron might want he might want to show up Popovich and shit like that, No,
LeBron loves Popovich's nutsack.
Well, yeah, he does.
He's they're going to be on the sidelines talking about social justice causes.
Yeah, that's true.
While
that's
everyone
true.
else is playing basketball.
Yeah. So I do like LeBron today.
The main reason, it's not anything actually. I don't think LeBron's necessarily going to have a bad game or anything. I think LeBron, it's actually, God, it's so hard for me to compliment him, but to make my point, I'll do it. LeBron's a smart enough basketball player to understand when a mismatch is there. They have some bodies to throw at LeBron. He could totally dominate this game still if he wanted to. It's not really how LeBron plays. LaMarcus Aldridge is way too motherfucking old to guard Anthony Davis.
Yeah.
LeBron's going to be feeding Davis all fucking day. And that's how I see this game going. So I think LeBron gets a lot of assists, but I think Anthony Davis is going to get a lot of stats.
Right.
So that's the route I went.
Right.
Next up, 9,500, you got Durant. I like that play. It's fine. I don't think I have him. I might have him in one lineup and not in the other. So
this is the first day that I'm not gonna have Durant in. They just have like that weird mix of guys, like I was talking about earlier, that they could just throw out at him. I mean, he's still gonna have a good game, but I don't know. I don't love it. I think that with Capella supposedly coming back even on limited minutes, that kind of clogs up the inside a little bit. You got your DeAndre Hunter and those guys to guard the outside. You got John Collins still. So I think that like Durant will have a fine game. It's kind of along the lines where you saw LeBron. Like I think he's gonna have a fine game, but I don't think it's anything special. Like I'm not gonna change my lineup around 75 times so I could get Kevin Durant.
Agreed. Yeah, I didn't really go after him either.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I've kind of switched up because I used to kind of just go position by position and plug guys in that I liked and then go through and keep trying to like make things fit, blah, blah, blah. But I've switched it up to a little bit now to where now that we're doing these videos and I'm writing everything down and I look at it all, I plug in the guys that I think are must plays first.
Yeah.
And I go from there. So today I'll just say, Anthony Davis and Doncic in my mind are my must plays. So with doing that, I already know I'm not going to be able to get Durant. I'm not going to be able to get LeBron. I'm not going to be able to get Giannis. So I already know that as I'm going through things. So that's kind of the approach I've started taking to it. So that's why, to talk to viewers and tell them, Durant's a fine play. It's just not the route I'm going, so I can't get too excited about it,
Right.
So, yeah, that's the approach I've been starting to take to it. Jaylen Brown, 8,000. Like I think I just said yesterday that I don't like paying 8,000 for Jaylen Brown.
Yeah.
Today I do.
Mm-hmm.
Today I would pay that if I could fit him into my lineup for 8,000 with this matchup. I think even though it's probably going to be a blowout, he'll get 30 to 40 fantasy points pretty easily.
I don't hate Jaylen Brown. I just like Hayward more today than Jaylen Brown, and Hayward's a little bit cheaper. So I kind of just had Brown on my no list because of that.
Similar price points.
Similar price. I like the Hayward play a little bit better.
Not a lot of guys to guard Hayward on the Mavs. So 7,800, that could be the only hitch in it that I could see possibly is if Finney Smith guards him,
right?
But I don't know that necessarily Finney Smith can stick with him on the perimeter. So
right,
yeah, I agree. I like the 7,800 on Hayward too. I got a lot of no's throughout there, like Kyle Anderson. Fuck Kyle Anderson, 6,200.
I know,
he's ugly as shit.
Yeah,
but also without Morant to for the defense to worry about, Kyle Anderson ain't gonna do shit.
No, and he's had a good start to the season and stuff, but it's still Kyle Anderson. Like he's been in the league for a while. We know what he is. Just he's an okay. He's not some superstar. So,
right.
Yeah.
Right. And he's ugly.
Yeah.
I'll just throw out my other no's. I had Rudy Gay. I had his no. I think he's gonna play as much as the game's in contention. I think he'll be in the game probably guarding LeBron a lot of the time. But I think that's his focus. So I'm not really big on Rudy Gay at 5,800. I'm not big on Tyler Hero today. basically whenever I decide that I like Duncan Robinson, I don't like Tyler Hero.
Yeah.
That's pretty much how it goes.
Right.
And he lit him up yesterday, so I expect them to kind of adjust to that. And then Joe Harris is who that is. I don't like that play either.
I don't like Harris.
You like
either.
any of those guys?
I had Hero in my yes list. I think Hero at 4,500. He might not go off like he did for a lot of yesterday, but I mean maybe he does, and even if Hero gets you. If he gets you 30, that's all going to depend on Butler, too. Like, I don't like the Hero play if Butler plays. I still like Robinson, though.
Same here.
But if Butler doesn't play, Hero's going to be a big part of that offense.
The only thing I don't, because, like, basketball, if you were just telling me, what do you think about Tyler Hero right now? I'd be like, oh, he's fucking sweet, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
But for this lineup today, when you see he had, like, almost 30 points at half fantasy-wise yesterday, and then today, it's the same exact matchup, and he's 4,500. He's going to be like 75% owned.
Yeah, he will be.
That's kind of my big thing with Hero today. So that's why I like to pivot to Duncan Robinson there. The guys I do have on my like list, I like Tim Hardaway Jr. today in that matchup. I think Tim Hardaway could make a lot of noise, and I don't know who's going to guard him really. Just on the assumption that I'm thinking Hayward's going to guard Doncic.
Right. That's not a bad play. Hardaway's not a bad play. Yeah. I didn't have him written down. I don't know if I skipped over him or what, but I didn't even remember seeing him.
Tim Hardaway's going to be pissed off at you if you skipped over him.
I know.
When he watches this,
I'm sorry, Tim Hardaway. I'm sorry.
And then you got
I like you, and I like you today.
And then your dad.
Yes.
Reddish and Hunter both going to be in the game a lot today. 44 and 4,300 for those two. They're both going to spend a lot of time guarding Durant. So I like both those plays. Fine. They're nothing crazy, but they're fine.
I do too. Like both of those guys are coming into their own, especially Hunter. And for being so cheap, it's a good play. Like you're going to have your games where one of those guys doesn't really do much on offense, or maybe both, but there are games where those guys light it up. So I like both of those plays today.
The fuck did that deer skull come from? Oh, it's a raccoon.
Oh my god,
Jesus! I didn't even know that was there.
No.
Good God! I didn't even because I just stare at us the whole time because we're gorgeous.
Exactly.
And I glance above Kobe, and there's that raccoon head.
Yeah.
After that, you got Melo at 4,300, which is coming off of that. There's still they just say it in the FanDuel write-ups and online. They just say it like it's like, I don't know, just like whatever. Like, oh, he's back from that health and safety protocol.
Yeah.
Like they just, like, oh, he's cleared it. Cleared what? What health and safety?
Yeah,
what are you talking about?
I have no idea.
There's nothing to do with COVID. So what is it? They just say it like everybody just knows what was up. So
right.
I like Melo coming back. And especially Gary Trent is questionable today. So
yeah, it's looking like he might not play. My long shot of the day, Carmelo Anthony goes for 40 plus fantasy points today.
I could see it.
40 plus fantasy points for Carmelo Anthony.
I think Carmelo's a great tournament play today.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So yeah, 4,300 especially. That's a good price, and I agree with you. Actually, I think Melo could have a really big game.
I mean, like other than the Trent thing, like there's not a whole lot of matchup stuff. It's just knowing Carmelo Anthony, like
he overcame that mountain.
Yeah, I mean,
whatever it is. I'm proud of you.
Yeah.
I don't know what you did, but
yeah,
goddamn,
yeah,
you're good. All right, so then going into power forwards, unless you had anybody else on small forward.
No, that was it.
All right, I'm big. All right, yeah. So usually I suck this dick. I fucking keep chasing somebody because okay, this dude's got to do it this time. He's got to do it this time. He's got to go out there and do it this time. Giannis, show me. I'm not paying $11,000 for you until you fucking play basketball.
Nope.
You didn't even break double digits yesterday in a fucking blowout.
Yeah.
I mean, and you could say like, oh, well, they didn't have to. Blah, 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 blah. His whole team. No, you got to be a bigger part of the game than that, and you just don't look right to me.
He doesn't, not at all. I'm not paying that for Giannis until he's got to string together a couple games of dominating before I'm paying.
Right,
paying
and there's
for
a
him.
lot of things you could say about it, like, oh, maybe only 15% are going to have Giannis today. They could easily go out and score 50, and nobody else will have him, and you had Giannis. Good for you. If you win because of that, good for you. But
Good for you,
I need to fucking see it first because I'm tired of playing him.
Yep,
I'm
me
tired
too.
of paying for him, and I'm not going to take him over Doncic.
No,
No. At relatively the same price point when Doncic has been showing up this year.
Like, why would I take why would I take Giannis even over like Durant or like Lillard, who I didn't even like either one of them,
right?
Or like Trae Young. Like,
what has he done to show that he's better than them?
Those guys are all way cheaper than him. Like, why would you?
Believe me, I think Giannis is the best player in the league. Sorry, our screen just turned off and got really confused.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're back after some technical difficulties there. All right, yeah. So, like I said, I knew we were going to forget that we were on a podcast recording here too. Yeah, there's a deer or a raccoon skull on our wall behind us. That's what we were talking about earlier. And then just now, our computer screen turned off, and we thought the computer died and got all pissed off. But actually,
I think the same person did both of those things, and it wasn't either of us. So
yeah, yeah. I normally don't have like power saver mode on my computer for that reason, but when girls come in and start fucking with things, it's So back to power forward. I don't like Giannis. Neither one of us do. I do like Davis. 10,200.
Yeah, I do too. It's hard for me. It's sometimes hard for me to watch Davis. Like, I feel like every time I watch him and we play him, he just, like, pussyfoots around,
Oh, he's got the biggest pussy feet.
Yeah, and, like, I don't know, like, it's such a great Davis play. Like you were saying earlier, I mean, like, Aldridge isn't going to be able to guard him. Pirtle sure as hell isn't going to be able to guard him. Like, I think that's a great play. I just don't want to watch it because I'm going to get so pissed off watching it.
Plus, you'll feel really bad watching Aldridge try to chase him around.
I know, I like LaMarcus Aldridge.
I do too. Remember, he used to go out and drink wine with Pop all the time?
Yeah.
They probably still do.
Yeah.
I'm sure LeBron did too. LeBron's all stoked on wine. They probably all were drinking wine last night.
Probably.
Jason Tatum could be a good play today. It's nothing that I was interested in. Just I'm not going to have the money to spend on him, and it's not really. I think the game's a blowout.
Same here. Yeah, it was exact same reasons as you. I don't like Tatum.
Mm-hmm. Next up, John Collins, 6,800. John Collins kind of fucked us earlier in the week because he got in foul trouble like real quick in the game. He ended up coming back and doing fine. I think we placed in the lineup, but I like him at 6,800 today. I think that, like I've been saying, I think that game's going to be really competitive, and I don't think he's going to be a popular play today. So I do like John Collins.
Like, on last year's Hawks team, I would love this John Collins play. It would be my favorite play of the day. I'm just not sure. I think the Hawks are still trying to figure out where everyone fits in right now, especially if you get Capella back. Like, I don't have Collins on my yes or no list.
I think Capella, he played last game, he played about like 15 to 18 minutes, somewhere in there. It still was saying minutes restrictions, so you might get about 20.
Yeah.
And then, Gallinari's still questionable for the game, so even if he plays,
right.
That's the only reason. I do agree, once everybody's back in full swing with the minutes, I think it's going to get a little confusing there for a minute.
Yeah.
But I think at this point, I think he
might still be okay.
And I think the main reason I like it is I don't think Durant has any interest in guarding him.
No, and then like Jordan and Allen, they're not going to be able to guard him on the perimeter.
Well, and like you said, now that Capella's going to be back, now Allen can't even guard him.
Oh yeah, that's true.
And Jordan, when he's in, he's not going to be guarding him because they'll have
Allen can't even guard anyone.
I know, yeah, Allen's terrible. Yeah. So yeah, I actually have no idea. I just assume they're going to throw Durant at Collins.
I guess, yeah,
and he's not going to want to guard him.
No,
so it's an interesting play today.
It is an interesting play.
LaMarcus Aldridge I don't like because of the matchup, 6,500.
I like Aldridge today. I think he gets some garbage stats. He gets some rebounds, some putback, stuff like that. Like 6,500, I mean, like, I don't know. Like, it's kind of going against what I was saying earlier, like those guys that are in that range that are just going to get you like 30 some, but I don't mind Aldridge. Like, I'm probably not going to play him, but
right.
I don't hate him.
The next guy, I was thinking about this earlier. The next guy I have on my I do like list is, and I don't like him. I don't actually like him as a play. It's PJ Washington 6,400. I was thinking about this, like PJ Washington. There's probably a few other guys, but he's the main one I could think of that I have never gone into a day and said like, "Well, I fucking love this PJ Washington matchup today." Like,
Right?
I've never tried to play PJ Washington.
No, you always
It's just always affordable.
Yeah, yeah.
And he just ends up being in my lineups, and it makes me have these strong opinions about PJ Washington when he doesn't deserve it. He didn't ask to be played.
Yeah.
So yeah, he's on my that's fine list or whatever, 6,400. But really, at the end of the day, I'm not going to pay 6,400 for PJ Washington when John Collins is 68.
Exactly. Like I said, I had Washington and Aldridge on my guest list, but I'm probably not going to play either one of them. Oddly enough, I think PJ Washington is going to be LaMarcus Aldridge in like 5 years.
Yeah, that's true. Actually,
It's gonna be
maybe not as good, but
maybe just some old man running around.
You mean like LaMarcus Aldridge now?
Yeah.
In 5 years?
Yeah.
He's only like 22.
He's gotten hurt like 83 times already, though. Yeah, he always gets hurt. But I think that he'll be drinking that wine and stuff too. So I think, PJ Washington, I think, is going to be similar to LaMarcus Aldridge.
So me, there's nothing really I like below any of that besides the only value play I really like today at power forward is actually James Johnson in that Dallas game, and that's it.
That's not a bad play. I don't even have any like value guys written down for power forward. It was just all trash.
Yeah, it's a pretty bad position today. I'll be looking to get Davis and Collins probably in my lineups, but
yeah,
if I'm trying to do bigger things, James Johnson might be a part of it. Moving on to center, Adebayo is the other one that I was talking about at the price point of DeRozan, where like I don't really like the 8,200. Now that Adebayo is a center, I don't like 8,200 for Adebayo. It's like too much for me for a center. Like I only pay over 7,500 for centers when it's like Jokic or Embiid in a sweet matchup or Drummond.
right.
Like that's the only time. And I know you're the same way. We always look for value at the big man. Today, I think it could be a good swerve play with as good as he just always plays the Bucks. I mean, he didn't do anything statistically crazy yesterday, but that's because he only played like 20 minutes.
Right.
The
thing, and that's kind of what I was going to get at. Like they're on back to back, but Adebayo only played like 20 minutes. And if Butler's back, those two are going to be firing on all cylinders.
That's the big thing for me.
If Butler's back, I love the Adebayo play. If Butler's not back, I actually still kind of like it, but not.
Same here. Same exact thoughts on it. I don't like Valanciunas today.
No, me neither. They got too many bodies. Like you got like Tice, Thompson, Tatum, like all those guys to throw at.
I think it's going to be a pretty quick game. I don't think it's going to be a very competitive game. Nurkic 6,700. Like I'm not obsessed with it, but that's such a cheap price.
Yeah, I mean he was like I like that play too. Like I would probably take him if I didn't take Adebayo. Like at least if I was going a little bit higher end, like 67. Yeah, 67. It's cheap.
And can get you assists, rebounds, obviously score a little bit.
I mean, like in the bubble last year when he came back, he was putting up like 50 fantasy points a game for a bit,
Right.
So I do like Nurkic at that price.
You got a lot of stuff then after that. So I'll just tell you the ones I absolutely don't like. We'll see if you disagree or agree with these. I don't like Jared Allen. I don't like Serge Ibaka. I don't like Enes Kanter. None of them.
No, I don't like it. I don't like any of the three of them.
Okay.
And like Ibaka just, I don't know, he just doesn't play enough minutes. Like,
right.
He's sweet when he's out there. He just doesn't play enough minutes.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't like the Nurkic matchup for him either.
Yeah, I don't
like
either.
On paper, it's kind of a good matchup for him, but I just, something about it I don't like. I think on a back-to-back, I don't think Ibaka's going to want to deal with that physicality.
Right.
So then there's like kind of a list of people I do like, and we'll see what you think. I like Montrezl Harrell today, actually. I like Biyombo today. I like Bobby Portis today. I like DeAndre Jordan a pretty decent amount today.
I like DeAndre Jordan as a person.
Yeah, me too.
And I like him today. Yeah.
Yeah. His 4,500 is a really good value play.
Yeah.
And then even on the lower end, Dwight Powell's been like creeping up in minutes. Like he played, I think maybe 23 minutes a couple games ago, and then he only played like 16 because they beat the Clippers by 100.
Right.
But like Dwight Powell being with Maxi Kleber sucks, and then Porzingis is still out. Dwight Powell was hurt for a lot of last year, so I don't think people really remember him, and FanDuel's not giving him a lot of credit. I mean, if Dwight Powell was a shooting guard at like the similar caliber player, this would be like a lock play for me.
Yeah.
At center, it's a little worrisome, but I like that value there.
Right. I like that play too. I don't like Harrell. I don't ever like Montrezl Harrell. I don't like.
I think it's a good hustle spot for him.
Like they just have so many like. It's just such a clusterfuck up there. Like, you got, like, Marc Gasol playing increased minutes, and you got, obviously, Davis, and you got Kuzma, and you got Morris, and now you throw in Harrell.
And that's the thing about it, though, with him being, like, a younger center, like, I kind of think they're going to kind of blow the Spurs out a little bit. Especially, like, coming to the fourth quarter. You can't play Marc Gasol in a blowout.
No, you can't.
He's too goddamn old.
You can't.
Markieff Morris doesn't need to be out there. Kuzma can't run the 5.
Right.
So, I think Harrell still gets blowout minutes.
I think he would.
You got, like, Devin Eubanks and fucking Trae Lyles and Jakob Poeltl. It's like the grossest mix of centers you could think of in San Antonio.
Yeah. Didn't the Lakers have Devin Eubanks when he came out?
Probably. Devin Eubanks is a bitch.
They had some Eubanks at some point.
Drew Eubanks?
I don't know who it was. It was some Eubanks at some point the Lakers had within the last 20 years. I just don't remember like that.
Could be a big revenge spot for Eubanks.
Yeah.
One more creepy thing that if you want to chuck into a tournament play, like a big tournament, could be an interesting Boban day.
Ooh.
There's not a single body. I mean, Biyombo would be the only one. There's like nobody on that Hornets team that could cover Boban.
Ooh, I like that.
And if that game does start getting away from the Hornets a little bit, Boban's going to play some minutes, and it could be like a random 50-point Boban.
I mean, when Boban plays his minutes, it goes absolutely berserk.
It could be a really random Boban day.
I mean, he's legitimately a top 10 offensive center in the league. It's just he doesn't play a lick of defense. So, right. And he doesn't like pass or he doesn't really do anything else. So
just gonna get all those rebounds and garbage points and blocks.
Yeah.
Know? So yeah, if you want to throw one tournament in where you save some money, Boban would be an interesting way to do it. So that's the fantasy slate for today. Like I said earlier, Twitter at 32CourtVision. Facebook is facebook.com/CourtVision32. Everywhere else, Podbean, YouTube, we could be found at CourtVision32 is our site page name. That's about it. We'll be back later with some picks. Anything to add?
I don't think so. Pretty much just kind of the same thing that I said earlier, like with Jamal Murray and stuff. Just it is important that keep at your lineups. You know, if you have a lineup that you really like, just watch it because sometimes one of those guys might just decide not to play 5 minutes before the game. Same with your actual picks. It's not a bad idea that, I mean, we haven't done this, but it's not a bad idea that if you have somebody like a Jimmy Butler, maybe like write down like a backup lineup that doesn't have Jimmy Butler in it. And that way, like a little bit before the game, you know, if it's his status is clear, then you can figure out which lineup you actually want to go with.
It's actually too. It's another cool thing about DeMar DeRozan today being at 8,500. You can make a lineup with DeMar DeRozan at 8,500. Keep an eye on Jimmy Butler, and if Jimmy Butler comes back, you just plug him into that spot.
Oh, that is
true. And you save $500.
That is true.
So you might be able to throw that somewhere else. It's kind of a cool thing that we probably do now.
Right.
So, all right. Well, we'll see you for the picks.
All right.
Later.